To my friend from the Forebs ago. We're also here with Banana. There she is, hiding behind me. We're at the Santa Monica Pier. We're having a lot of fun. So we're about to conduct a First Amendment audit. There's several Santa Monica police outposts on the pier. So, guys, just beautiful view. This is what we're looking at. You guys know where we're going? It's back here.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we walking this way?
Well, I thought you said you saw them go this way.
No. All right, guys, welcome. Where? Okay.
You see the sign? See the sign up there?
I thought so. I was like, what? Everyone, welcome. Smash that like button on your way in. Really appreciate it. Let me know where you are, where you're from, who you are. That'd be great. What's going on, guys? We're in Santa Monica, California, right on the pier. It's beautiful. Just taking a look at everything. Come on, smash that like button, y'all. How are you doing, Numi? Glad to see you're good, man. You get the fancy ride.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you guys let him get away with that?
He threw the seniority. Yeah.
What? Rock, paper, scissors went wrong, right?
I got 4 liters. Yeah. I didn't hear it. He said we got 4 liters.
How you guys doing tonight? I'm from the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful out here. Never been.
Oh, yeah.
I just seen him with the motorcycle, and you guys got the older model Explorers, and I was like, all right, so he's pulling some strings, or he's the one that everyone likes.
You ever take people for a ride?
Who's this guy?
That's it?
Why? That's not cool. Why would you do that to him?
I don't get a ride on it?
Yeah.
I don't want to be cuffed, though.
No, you know what? I had a Kawasaki Vulcan custom, and I dumped it on the first ride.
Really?
And these things got a lot more pickup than the Vulcans.
He's actually.
Well, he's
being
change
very
him also from his
coy. He's actually a motor. I don't know who.
Oh, really?
He
He's our
is.
second bike. We've been on the CAWs for quite a while.
That's pretty good.
What kind of bike do you have?
Say one.
Oh, okay.
Can I go for a ride on it?
It's him. Yeah.
I don't want to be in the front seat though. Like, just take me on the back.
On the
Not cuffed, and I don't
Not-
want to go to the station.
Oh.
Well,
Very demanding.
well,
I am.
she is very, very bougie. We're in Santa Monica, so
Well, those are my terms. Can I go?
full disclosure. Before I had a 1200
You're
Vulcan
the man to go
custom,
to.
I had a 600 Honda Shadow. I dumped that too,
Okay.
first time around. So
Okay.
You said you're the man to go to. Can we get a ride?
Many talents right now.
well, how many talents do you have?
Ask him how many talents he doesn't have. That's
Okay.
That's good.
How
I'm not
many-
gonna get any. Yeah.
Oh,
like
so you're
that.
just all talented.
Wait, this is
no
why
fault.
he has the bike. As soon as pressure's on him, he's like, listen, the blue line is thick, but this guy was a real dick the other day. That's exactly what he does.
He's actually my training officer.
You know,
Oh,
I
really?
asked him a question. He
Very
said,
cool.
I don't answer questions. I default to him.
Of course.
But is BMW more expensive than the Harleys?
Probably.
Any police package is about $30,000 more on a bike normally.
None of it's cheap.
Well,
This
see,
one
what-
works really well for us here.
See, my husband used to drive a Harley, and so he loved it.
So did I.
They-
And then I wrote this.
yeah.
Would you have a Sportster?
Had a built up sporty. I grew up on road glides and all that.
And you like this more? If you could afford either one, you. I mean, obviously this is way different, but you could take that really.
Harley's behind the curve. Harley's like, in my opinion, like Nike. It's just, you buy the brand, you buy the name.
You know, Indians made a real resurgence with their quality. Indians have been really good the past
With
4 or
the
5
Ford
years.
Explorers, I've noticed that too. Ford Explorers are reinforced. They have a reinforced chassis. That even the regular.
See, cops that are old enough, I don't know if you are, but the Crown Vics were totally reliable. Like next to the Chevy Caprice, the Crown Vics, like you could pull a pit maneuver with a Crown Vic and not have to worry about it.
Are you headed to a call?
No, we're doing a different event up in the city by a bar.
And I never figured out why.
Oh, okay.
Their event, we're doing another one.
Just hanging out.
We've had a lot. Yeah, I brought them some food.
Look at that.
So
What,
that's
what did
food
you
in the
get?
bag?
What did you get him?
With the Explorer as opposed to the
We had what did we have? The Misfit bar we went to,
We had a
and it was really good.
Yeah, I had the tacos.
And then we went to the lobster. What was it? The lobster restaurant?
Lobster restaurant.
Yeah, we could only afford drinks and a couple of oysters.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's not even about the lobster, it's just about the price of everything.
Have you ever taken a breathalyzer?
Yes. So listen, I'll tell you one thing, right? I have about 100,000 subscribers, 20 million views. I'm a First Amendment auditor. I do this around the country. So I met a deputy that was actually pretty cool. He had some downtime, and I was like, I just want to see how difficult the breathalyzer is to pass if you're sober. And it was actually pretty difficult to figure out just because you get really nervous, right? So the concentration factor is the biggest part, but unless you're really inebriated, I'm pretty sure you can pass the breathalyzer.
It's not about it pass or fail. It measures the blood alcohol content.
Well, so if you do a breathalyzer, but normally a field sobriety test would come first, right?
That's true. Yes.
So, and if you find, sometimes you'll associate a field.
Scientifically proven. Standard field sobriety tests are scientifically proven. But this is alcohol level, and if they can't do the test, there's clues in each test that you do.
It's not like a pass or fail.
No, it's not a pass or fail.
There are multiple things. That
So what, normally you're looking for like the eye movements, if they're moving their head, not following correctly, right?
There's a lot of things. Different tests have different things that we're looking for, but that's why they're called standardized. Everybody shall do them the same way with the same instructions, the same exact speed.
Now, if you have someone that passes the field sobriety test, would you normally conduct a sobriety test second, the breathalyzer secondly? Okay.
It happens all the time. Okay.
Just as like a double check?
Some people are very functional alcoholics.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, not for nothing, I'll tell you one thing. So I was probably about 22, 23. I went to a restaurant, it was my birthday. So we had a bunch of whiskey shots, all that. And I felt really good leaving the bar, so I got behind the wheel. It wasn't, then I got pulled over and I got a .07 in the state. I passed the field sobriety test flying colors, passed the breathalyzer flying colors. And he was like, all right, just be careful going home. And I felt really good, but it wasn't until about 10 minutes later that I had to pull over the car and I was like, all right, someone now has to pick me
A lot
up.
of people misassociate. You don't have to even blow a .8 prior to get arrested.
Well, yeah, you can get arrested for a .0 technically, right?
In certain circumstances, yes, because somebody can blow a .0 but also be under the influence of narcotics or medications, overdose.
Now, does California have a blood draw if someone refuses the test?
So when you get arrested, you have a mandatory, when you sign your driver's license, if you get arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol, you have to submit to either breath or blood. If it's for a DUI for narcotics use, you have to do a blood or urine.
See, that's interesting. A lot of the Midwest and then primarily the West Coast does that. But if you go to the East Coast, if you refuse, and that's really like the main defense system, at all costs refuse the field sobriety test or the breathalyzer because they can't court demand or get a warrant for a blood draw.
We used to enforce, and then somebody fought it. I forgot what year it was. recent.
Okay.
You get a warrant from the judge, and we force pledge.
They take him right to the hospital.
It's almost a forced warrant. If he gets to a warrant and you refuse again, we have the legal authority from the judge to hold you down and get a blood sample.
Well, that's one of those tough areas, right? Like, I mean, I think everyone believes in their Fourth Amendment right to be free from illegal search and seizure and require probable cause. But then the second thing, like, I'm a dad, right? So if I'm thinking that someone's driving up and down the road drunk, now we're putting someone else's life in jeopardy. So
You're traveling in your car and somebody crashes into you. He gets out of the car and it's not just from an accident, but obviously there's driving impaired.
Driving is a privilege that shall be respected at all costs.
So does California have a separate law for driving while under the influence of alcohol versus driving while intoxicated? Are there two separate laws, or is it all encompassed?
They're all typically associated under the same violation. There's just different subcategories that somebody's able to.
So how is a police officer, say that I pass the field sobriety test and I pass the breathalyzer, but you have probable cause and reasonable articulable suspicion to believe that there's probably medication, something else involved. How would you go by reaching that bar?
So you're saying you passed. It's not pass or fail.
Yeah.
So if you don't do well on the standardized field sobriety test, but you say you blow zeros, and we, based on that, you're failing, like pass or
You
fail,
see other indicators.
You say other indicators, then like you take medication, are you doing some illicit drugs? You know, like it goes down that road. So it's all clues, and if those clues come into play, then like my partner was saying, then it's gonna go blood because you're gonna blow, and it's gonna be nothing.
It's gonna be nothing.
Something's wrong with this person.
Right, but if you didn't drink, that doesn't mean you didn't just smoke a ton of crack cocaine. Exactly.
Or marijuana.
Right.
Or you take prescription medication. There's been people that take the wrong amount of the prescription medication, they drive, and they're all like, you're like, what's wrong with this person?
Right.
That's why the standard field sobriety tests are not only for alcohol, but they're for narcotics as well.
Now, is every officer trained on the field sobriety test, or is there a supervisor that will come to the scene?
Okay, basic post academy, you're all trained, and then you can take more classes, like as a motor officer, because they do a lot of traffic enforcement. He goes out and they do a little more training, but we all get training. Like talk about the breathalyzer, we all had to perform the breathalyzer test to be certified to use that device. So when you said it's
So kind of like a taser.
I did it we had to do it for a day. I don't know how many times I had to keep doing it and passing it with an instructor that was, obviously one of the people that is trained to train.
Right. Now, is it more dangerous, do you think, as an officer on a motorcycle than it would be in a regular car?
It depends. I mean, I think the biggest safety factor is just, the light. How many people pay attention.
Like if you're on a pursuit or something, weaving in between cars?
So like my normal assignment is to enforce traffic safety. So I pull people over, I get, whether it's bicycle related, pedestrian related, or vehicle related. You have patrol officers who don't really ever know what they're going to. They're going to a domestic violence call.
Just responding to the first call,
Yeah,
right?
so there's different safety issues that come into play, but
Is it more dangerous to work during the day or at night? I can tell you.
See, I would say that, like, for example, we went to Oakland the other day, and I would say, for example, like, depending on the neighborhood you go to, it's going to be way more dangerous to work during the day. However, we parked in front of the police station, we were walking around doing this, and we're not, like, argumentative, we don't, like, act like jerks, right? We just kind of do what we do. And we came back 10 minutes later, and there was a smash and grab, and her window was smashed, and everything was stolen out of it. So I guess it really depends on, like, what neighborhood you work, the people that you're working with, right?
Well, you can take this city as a good example. So primarily the city, we have a lot of people that have been here for decades. Families that live here. We have residents that, truthfully, we don't have an overwhelming amount of crime percentage are actual residents. Being the big tourist city that it is, the pier, we have people that come in from all over the state, country, or even just travelers from the world. So we get a lot of crime that comes from out of the city that comes into our city.
So most of your arrests must be like disorderlies, drunken disorderlies, DUIs, stuff like that,
It's
right?
a mixture of anything and everything.
I would assume it's like, but mostly, primarily what? A lot of bar fights, a lot of drunk people, a lot of DUIs. No? What's the majority of the calls that you guys would respond to on
I'm
a
saying we
night?
have a lot of people that come from other cities to come into the city because the city is a beach city, a little more affluent. There's nice things here. There's nice cars. Like you're talking about smash and grabs. We get a lot of thefts. We get a lot of break, vehicle burglaries. There's some fights, but it's not like you would think like it's crazy like
Melees, right?
I have a
A lot of the time
question
these
for you,
fights
though.
are settled, they just get into it, and then nobody wants to go to jail. There's no prosecution, so they go, no, I don't
We
want
have a
to.
big tourist population.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the
There's
thing, yeah.
that.
Tourist is export, so you really want to protect that too, as well.
Like right now, you walk around the pier right now, and like we had like I think we took some pictures with like 3 different families from France. You know, another
Oh, cool.
Italy, another one. So there's all. They just want to come out and want to see the pier because it's a big tourist attraction. It's the end of Route 66. We get groups, we get motorcycle groups, we get car clubs.
Very
Everybody
cool.
comes through.
So usually what come with tourists?
Problems.
No, not true, but also you're traveling with what?
Children.
Valuables.
Yeah.
Property
There are
rights.
people that come to the city specifically.
To target cars, vehicles.
Vehicles, people, pickpocketing, robberies, all
We
that.
have a lot of
With
hotels.
that, I
we're always
have a
looking-
question
Yeah.
to follow up on the theft. In Oakland, for example, you go to report a theft. They do not come to you. You have to go to the police station and fill out a report. With here, do you go to the person that is? Okay, so it's but it's not a non-negotiable though.
I'd say
You
most
will.
of the time we have the ability to go to the people to take a report.
Good. I think
if-
that's important.
If we're obviously, it's a busy day. I mean, anything can happen. Anything and everything can happen. So we do have a service where, they can come down to, if someone's working the pier and they're close by, they can come here. They can go to the main station. It's right.
You guys seem like you're much more in touch with the community. Like I say, like for example, when you go to Aruba, okay, the only thing they have is tourism. That's their export, so they focus on that. You guys understand that, and a lot of the residents that live in and out of the city are making a lot of money on that, and it's great for the community. We had that issue in Oakland yesterday, so we called and we told them what was going on. They're like, yeah, we have 200 calls. Unless we don't even care if they stole your car. Unless you're a victim of physical violence, we're not going to even come
That's
out.
a normal thing.
You have to understand, Oakland is very, very, very busy. It's like Chicago.
They weren't busy last.
It's worse than Chicago. The cops will at least come in. I mean, I had to tell these guys,
I'm gonna tell
hey,
you right
Doug.
now, they were sitting happy.
Hi, Josh.
Not busy.
See, we're very nice. Doug was kind of weary of us at first because he was like, you're those 1A guys.
I'll tell you this: Santa Monica is big on customer service,
it's been a-
community policing, and getting out with the community because our community supports us so much. That we have that that top notch
That
try
rapport.
to get that top notch service, that rapport.
Yeah.
That they know us. Like I grew up in the city, so I have like a small.
Hey, Doug.
Hi,
Thank you for turning on your body cam.
Tell them banana or
They didn't ask for my name, or else I would have. Yeah.
They didn't have probable cause or reasonable articulable suspicion to believe that she was involved in a crime, Doug.
Right.
I'm just messing with you. These guys have been really
Tell
nice.
you what, guys, the reason we were talking about DUIs, why I asked if you were taking a breathalyzer, we're actually holding an event a couple blocks away on Wilshire, 2nd Street, Wilshire and Ocean.
And one of the biggest bars,
One of the
clubs
biggest
in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So what we do is we just offer free breathalyzers, no enforcement. It's basically an education. So we go out and say, hey, how many drinks you had tonight? Have you had any drinks? Again, no enforcement. Oh, I had 2 drinks. Do you think it's safe to drive right now? Sure. Okay, well, let's see what you blow.
And then
For all
you
know,
recommend.
those 2 drinks may raise you 0.01 or it may raise you 0.09 above the legal limit to where you think you're safe to drive, but if you were to get pulled over, you're very eligible to go to jail.
Do you recommend a service, or do you guys actually provide a service?
Sure.
that are available?
Yeah, absolutely.
so. And we need to keep this kind of brief because I need these guys to do something,
I
Yeah,
know.
we can leave you alone.
which I appreciate.
There's all these programs.
But he's being like 100% cool and chill and all that. Probably concerned that you're trying to like catch him in a gotcha kind of thing.
Of course.
That guy yesterday caught a murderer
What they're doing is
who committed an act. I'm not embellishing. Guys that have worked 20 years have not seen anything like what happened yesterday. And I hope it doesn't even go public. And we're going to hold a critical incident stress debriefing for him and for all these other guys. And you can't tell because he's so freaking professional and cool with whoever he's talking to. But yesterday he went through something no human being should go through.
People hanging out.
And I'm
Again, it's
only
a fun
like
event.
vicariously going through it with him and with some of the other guys.
Come take a breathalyzer test. Go have a couple.
See, he's talking about like DUIs and professional conduct.
I think that's
Sarge, let me be honest with you. A lot of people will try and catch you up. I don't want to do that. Right? If you guys give me a hard time, of course I'm going to give you a hard time. But this is the kind of conversation that I want to have.
Yeah.
There's got to be a ton of
That's why I'm
people
giving
out
it to
there
you.
that go
Yeah.
out, have
I'm
lunch,
pulling the curtain
free
open.
drinks, and they're like,
So what
I
did he
don't
do?
know
What
if
was he
if
involved
I'm
with?
There was a guy who his domestic violence gone bad, murdered his wife,
Why would
Dustin.
I can't even describe it.
Have
Hey,
a good night.
You're safe, dude.
hold on one second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have them come and grab you, and that way you can.
So he did a great job. He
Safe ride.
he caught a murderer yesterday.
Good.
He did, yeah.
Gotta love Doug. He gave us his.
No, it
first
wasn't
name.
Doug. Doug didn't catch the murderer. He caught the murderer.
Oh, the one on the
On the
motorcycle?
bike. The bike caught.
I knew I liked him.
He caught the murderer. Doug was just telling me about
I
it.
thought
Okay.
when Uber and Lyft came out, it would be less and less like
I just want to finish catching the story, guys, because this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that guy stopped a murderer who was running away from a domestic violence. That's not even the right term. It was a premeditated murder of his wife.
Okay.
And the way I'm not going to go into details. It should not go public. It may. It's already hit the news, but they're being vague because cause of death is so like. It was a horrific crime scene. The forensics people, the detectives, those guys, what they went through, it's going to take a while to unpack.
Of course.
And that's why I'm, as his supervisor, saying like he's just here chatting in a professional way about how they do.
And you could never
DUIs
tell
and
that
all
he just went
You
through
would
that.
never tell what he went through yesterday.
He did a fantastic job. I would've-
And we're all human, Doug, right? So
Yeah.
like, just because you're wearing a badge and you represent the city doesn't mean if you see something that's not going to affect you. And I think it's really important because I think that if you're a good cop, which you seem to be and he seems to be, the one thing you hate most is bad cops because that's taking away from everyone else's credibility.
I agree
So if
with
he's doing the right thing, I mean, good on you. I've had no issues in Santa Monica. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. People think I'm like the biggest dickhead on YouTube when it comes to cops, but I just feel that there's a bridge that can be crossed. Why don't we have a conversation? It does much better than yelling at each other, and I think you guys are doing great.
I have not had any problems with how you've been going about it. If that's your true intent, I applaud you.
Yeah, we've been
Okay?
here for 20 minutes. No, there wouldn't even be a hidden agenda, to be honest with you. If I felt like I was being disrespected or my rights were being violated, I would be very, very vocal about it. I don't try and
as you
set the
should.
traps.
No, yeah, as you should.
Anna, nice to meet you.
Thank
See,
you.
look at that.
That just melted. All right.
Great job,
Thank
Sergeant.
you.
I do go by Banana though.
Okay.
That
so
was not-
that. You weren't making that up.
No,
But
not at
No, her channel name is Banana.
all right. There was some form of identification.
By the way, I just narked on her.
100%. He did.
All right.
He's a rat.
I do need to.
Yeah, take
Thank
care.
you so much,
Thanks,
Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Thank you.
Officer, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Right behind you, Sarge.
When I do.
All right, guys, listen, that was really cool, right? You know, of course, I'm looking at the reason. Here's why I go in the cars first. I go look at the cars first because I want to see what their response is. Are they immediately going to come after me and be like, "What are you doing? Why are you looking in that car? That's illegal. You can't do that." And then right from that moment, I know they have no idea about their job and they're getting the business. And they're not getting some of the business, they're getting all of the business. But they didn't say anything about the car. We asked questions about policy, procedures, all that type of stuff. They answered the questions. You guys didn't see it, but on a static video, we met that same sergeant earlier. He was really nice. He was really professional. So if they don't give it to me, I'm not going to give it to them. I don't think there's a real reason for it. But anyways, guys, share. Thanks for being here. Smash the like button while you're still here. Really appreciate that. Share, like, and subscribe to Banana Ranner. And if you haven't seen her in a long time, Late Night with 702. She's awesome. We love her. Let's get in for a selfie.
I've come out of retirement, people.
All right. On three, that's the reason I stopped you today. 1, 2, 3.
That's the reason I stopped you today.
Show us your piece, Cindy.
Oh, come on. Cindy does have a big dick. Whoops, that wasn't off.